Where do the citizens feel for sex? late night feed. Yo dick got the HIV. My dick plays on the double feature screen. Yo dick went straight to DVD.
My dick bigger than a bridge. Yo dick look like a little kid's. My dick large like the Chargers, the whole team. Yo shit look like you 14.
My dick locked in a cage, right? Yo dick suffer from stage fright. My dick so hot it's stolen. Yo dick look like Gary Coleman.
My dick pink and big. Yo dick stinks like shit. My dick got a Caesar dude. Yo dick needs a tweezer dude.
My dick is like supersize. Yo dick look like 2 fries. My dick more mass than the earth. Yo dick half staff, it needs work.
My dick been there and done that. Yo dick sits there with Dunn's cap. My dick VIP. Yo shit needs ID. It's time that we let the world know, dude, you gotta let your girl go. DS is the best in the business. PS, we got dicks like Jesus. It's time that we let the world know, dude, you gotta let your girl go. DS is the best in the business. PS, we got dicks like Jesus.
My dick need no introduction. Yo dick don't even function.
My dick served a whole luncheon. Yo dick, it look like a munchkin.
My dick size of a pumpkin. Yo dick look like Macaulay Culkin.
My dick good loving. Yo dick good for nothing.
My dick bench press 350. Yo dick couldn't shoplift at Thrifty.
My dick pretty damn skippy. Yo dick hungry as a hippie.
My dick don't fit down the chimney. Yo dick is like a kid from the Philippines.
My dick is like a M16. Yo dick broken vending machine.
My dick parts the seas. Yo dick farts and quakes.
My dick rumble in the jungle. Yo dick got touched by your uncle.
My dick goes to yoga. Yo dick fruit roller.
My dick grade A beef. Yo dick made a geek.
My dick sick and dangerous. Yo dick quick and painless.
My dick enough said. Yo dick love spread.
It's time that we let the world know, dude, you gotta let your girl go. DS is the best in the business. PS, we got dicks like Jesus. It's time that we let the world know, dude, you gotta let your girl go. DS is the best in the business. PS, we got dicks like Jesus.
Like Jesus. Dicks like Jesus.
Dicks like Jesus.
Is the image of the penis, venerated in religions such as ours, is symbolizing the generative force in nature.
You sound like Chevy Chase in Vacation. Oh, there goes the Kennedites.
Oh, that's the clown to the right of me. It's Widdershins. Radio for your spiritual side. Twisted approach to the left-hand path. Beltane Eve Bash.
Beltane
The
Eve
Seinfeld
Bash. The
episode.
Seinfeld papers.
I don't even know how do you know how the thing goes?
Yeah, but I can't
You do the bass
it.
part?
I can't
Oh, man. A show about nothing. But it's going to be great. We've done a show about nothing.
You
Plenty
can
of
always
time.
do a show about nothing.
Yeah, well, we've done shows
But-
about nothing.
But it's Beltane Eve,
Beltane Eve?
and I guess you have some Beltane lore to share.
Oh, of course I do. But just, what was it, an hour ago or so, sitting around, got the kid home from school, the clown to the right of me says, well, so what are we doing? I said, well, what do you mean, what are we doing? We're going to sit around and bitch about the state of the world and plot its overthrow
And
like
drink wine.
like always. And then I realized, oh shit, it's Tuesday.
So you were just gonna sit around doing nothing without a plan.
I
And 5
would.
o'clock, we're just gonna roll around.
Well,
and
here-
we're just gonna sit there.
Well, here we are without a plan, other than your,
Well,
brilliant
I'm the one
write-up.
who told you
Yes.
we had a show.
Yes. I'm
You would have just let it pass right by you. And tomorrow
I'm literally
would have
giving you
been like,
credit right
"Oh,
now,
let's do the show."
live on the air.
Uh-huh.
You really interrupted me, giving you credit live on the air.
Oh, I should
to
be
tell,
so
to,
grateful
to tell
that
me
you're giving
that
me
you
credit.
did.
Thank you so much. Let me not interrupt you any further.
Okay, tell us more.
I forgot what I was talking about now.
Me too. Widdershins.
So we're drinking wine
Beltane.
and stuff.
Yes.
In the privacy of our own home.
Yep. Up on the tower.
Yep.
We have one of those big, like, Olympic-sized Roman torches that's going to be the bale fire. We'll light that later. You won't see that because it's radio.
We're gonna have Chia Pino.
We're going to have Chia Pino, the traditional Beltane Eve feast of our peoples.
The Feast of Beltane, y'all.
Yes.
Chia Pino.
So, I don't know what you're doing, but that's what we're doing. And we're doing Widdershins. And, yeah, I knew that the show was going to be on Beltane Eve, but like all day long, everyone's just running around doing
know it
things.
was Beltane Eve.
I run around thinking it was Monday. I'm still off from our kids' spring break. Little off. I made it, made it to everywhere I needed to go.
It was a death-defying excursion.
Yes.
This spring break.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, snakes and stuff.
Rattlesnakes.
Snakes, yeah, rattlesnakes.
And
Snake.
As he got a wound.
Yes, I got wounded from playing too hard. But anyway, yeah. What were we talking about? Beltane.
The Seinfeld papers.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
We're just going to talk about, random stuff whenever we feel like talking about.
Yeah, I think, I saved a couple random news stories that are kind of cool. There actually is a Beltane one in there.
Yeah.
That we'll read. But, it occurred to me today, because they always, in the news, around here, they remind us of the anniversaries. It was 27 years ago today. That's you, I guess.
Yeah.
27 years ago today, the Rodney King riots broke out. Actually, last
today?
night. I'm sorry, last night, the 29th.
Okay.
April 29th, Florence and Normandy.
Yeah.
They,
Normandy is just right down there.
Yeah. So the Los Angeles riots broke out, which to me means that means 27 years ago, your dear Uncle Birch was on the downhill slope of a career in law enforcement, a marriage, and leaving my parent tradition. That I'd grown up with, my parent tradition in the craft. I received calling elsewhere and a boot in the ass when I tried to delay, and I had to go north, and I was leaving, and I knew I was leaving, and my tradition didn't know I was leaving, and they badgered me into performing the Beltane ritual that year. And
Was this the horse story?
yeah, with the horse. Yeah. I'll throw the horse in there. I wasn't sure if I was going to go there, but all right. So, my tradition had only once asked me to lead the group ritual for the entire tradition once before, and that time I dragged them all up into the mountains near Big Bear. We were in Southern California. We were in Long Beach, and God, people hated that. I mean, dragging pagans out into the woods really pissed them off. So the next time they did it was Beltane, and 27 years ago now, and I was going to drag them up to the woods again. Even though those were the few times I had been to the woods, I just figured that's what we should do. So this time, just so nobody would complain about it, I got a nice group campground with a paved road leading up to it, with a gate that we had keys to.
Wasn't there like shuttles that transported
Yes. So my tradition had amassed a pretty large bank account at that point, the ritual bank account, because for years they had been charging people to attend rituals. And then a lot of those times, the rituals that were performed didn't actually cost money. They'd be in a park, or it cost $20 or something like that. So they're making a lot more than was spent, and you were allowed to spend whatever you wanted to. And I knew it was going to be my last time, so I went there. Had a pretty sizable bank account. So for those that really didn't want to drive their cars up the mountains, I chartered a small bus to bring people up to the ritual place. I rented out the ritual space for got a week and a half, and there were it's got 26 active participants, costumes, musical instruments for all four quarters, and the center it was an opera or something. It was the largest production anybody had ever seen in my tradition, anything that I had ever done. But I used up some of that bank account. So to be in charge of such a large ritual, that meant I had to be up there. I think I was up there about 4 days before the ritual, preparing the ground. There actually was snow on the ground when I first went up there to scout the place. So it was up in the Angeles National Forest, not far from here. And so I was up there ahead of time, and the riots broke out. Beltane Eve. Well, we had a huge ritual planned, and it was a Beltane Eve and Beltane ritual. So 2 day, a night and a day thing. And I was trying my best to actively portray the Beltane Eve and Beltane ritual in the mists of Avalon, which were all the rage at the time. So huge endeavor. So a lot of people that were coming, they didn't want to miss the Beltane Eve ritual because that's the really crazy stuff, and most people just didn't have a Beltane Eve ritual because it was so crazy. So they were already up there before the riots hit. I was up there before the riots hit, and as I mentioned before, I was a civil service employee. I was on call, especially for things like riots. And we had pagers back then. And I was up in the mountains. Pagers didn't work that well in the mountains. My pager worked. But also the news radio worked too. So my pager went off. I went to my car, turned on the radio, heard the riots, the Rodney King thing were happening, and I turned off my pager and did not report in. When I came back, I think it was 3-4 days after Beltane, and they were still handing out riot gear. Nothing had really happened in days. They were still handing that out, and I would have been apparently I would have been on a lower level riot line with like meter maids and shit. So I was not a downtown officer. I worked in the port, and they would have put me with on some weird makeshift riot line, and I absolutely disagreed with what happened at Rodney King, and that's a huge other story how much I disagreed with it. But part of the reason I was on my way out from that job, and yeah, there you have it. So we missed the Rodney King riots because of my religion at the time.
And I happened to
I
be
was thankful about that.
in LA for the Rodney King riots. I'd already moved to Santa Cruz by then.
Yeah.
But I got really sick and had this mystery disease. And I lived on campus, and I had to leave campus. So I was home with this mystery disease in LA. And the riots broke out. So it was perfect timing for me.
The riots broke out.
And there are places like, just down the street, east on Santa Monica from where we were, that totally got, busted out. I think there was like a Sears there or something.
Yeah, well, there in Long Beach, it was you could clearly see where the riot line stopped because there was so much stuff, burnt and destroyed. About a block from my house. It stopped at about a block from my house. But yeah, I was more than opposed. So I definitely wasn't going to go fight on the wrong side of that riot.
Yeah.
So you were here too. You were
Yeah.
close by.
I was right here. Well,
Yeah.
you know, about 10 minutes west of where we are now.
And then it was, so that was, okay, so that was Beltane.
1992.
I think I was out, I think it was up there by Samhain, or thereabouts of that year. So 92 would have been when I went north to Santa Cruz.
I was home from Santa Cruz. What other Beltane story did you have?
Well, so many Beltane stories, but I've been, but like the thing that we were talking about before. I think that's one of the more fascinating Beltane stories, in addition to my own stories. But I need to tell that story.
What story?
I guess you'll know in a minute.
Okay.
I can't tell you which story and then tell this, because then they'll hear me. Can't really whisper it in your ear or anything, right? You'll know, you know. So, like I said, the quote that I did from the Wicker Man, referring to the maypole as the image of the penis, which is venerated in religions such as ours, symbolizing generative force in nature. God's penis, the maypole. Now, one day, Marta went.
Talk about my school?
Yeah,
Oh God!
Marta went to a Catholic girls' school.
Like literally down the street from where we are at this moment.
Yeah, she used to smoke cigarettes and play pool.
On the corner.
On the
At the
corner,
coffee shop
right,
in the
right
corner.
over here, in her uniform, I guess. That's
Yeah.
that's the way I'm going to picture it.
During lunch.
Don't spoil it for me. Okay, yes, good.
I did.
Okay,
My
good.
uniform.
Yeah. Okay, I'm losing it now. Okay, so she still gets, way back when we were in Santa Cruz, even she was getting the newsletter from her old school, and it looks like a little newspaper. I open it up, and there's these Catholic schoolgirls in their uniforms dancing around a maypole. Well,
They didn't do it when I was going to school.
I know. I am intrigued, of course. So I open up the thing. Now, Marta's Catholic school practices a thing called Mary's Day on May 1st, which I don't find anywhere. The Catholic Church isn't celebrating Mary's Day.
Maybe it's a typo.
I don't know.
May-Day.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of where I was going to go. But Mary's Day, which is a celebration of women, May 1st, which, yeah, I can get that. But one of the things they're doing is dancing around maypole. Maypole has this pagan symbology where, I don't know if you've noticed, it's that part's rather Freudian. All the sticks are penises, and all the vessels are vaginas. I don't know if you noticed. Cups, bowls,
sure you
cauldrons. That part's kind of Freudian. We got a lot of Jungian psychological stuff in witchcraft, and then that part's kind of Freudian. So the idea that the Catholic schoolgirls are dancing around God's penis in a Catholic school.
Well, we couldn't dance around anybody else's penis.
It couldn't dance around anybody. It was the only penis allowed on campus.
Exactly.
Yeah, that amused me, and that amuses me all the time. I haven't looked it up. I hope they're still practicing it to this day.
I don't know why I haven't.
Yeah.
I get that paper all the time. I need to contact the person in charge of everybody's address. You don't have my address,
Yeah.
so I'll fix that. We missed it this year, but
Yeah.
we'll read about it next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have an address last year
Yeah.
on May 1st.
I probably will.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I'm eating. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
We're eating garlic, and it's burning my mouth.
All right, man. All right. God, I keep getting calls. So hopefully
that
that's
hurts.
not too loud on the air. Let's see. We got the chat room in there. Hello, Belinda, Sarah, whoever else is in there. Widdershins, Beltane Eve.
Okay, you read this.
What's
I
that?
can't. It's killing me.
It's killing you? All right.
Oh. I'm like our dog. Oh. Our dog makes sounds like that.
Yes, he does.
Ooh.
Yes.
All the flowers are blooming.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely springy. Except like ours are like on the verge. Some stuff is blooming. Some stuff. Oh man. Like.
I know. We need some more April showers. We've got a little bit.
Well, tomorrow's May 1st. Can't have any.
I know. Well, we could get. Well, I'm seeing a lot of blue sky right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna rain
No, I
today.
don't think it is. Oh well. Well, let's see. Beltane stories. Well, let's see. So, I told the one about the riots, but God, we had we apparently had a Beltane on the beach. I think 7 years ago there was one that just popped up. You on the beach with a big umbrella. Put Sasha in there and like his little seat thing. Yeah, it popped up as a memory today. Yeah, but you know, there's Beltanes every year. Yeah.
What are we gonna do tonight besides eat ceviche? I mean, not ceviche. What's it called?
Chiapino.
Chiapino.
Well, you know, I can't tell people what we're gonna do tonight.
It's a good
That's
time.
a secret. But,
It's a good time to do divination.
yes.
Tarot.
See, people miss that kind of thing. Like they know that about Samhain, but it's the other thin veils.
Yeah.
The thin other veils, or the veil, the thinner between different things veils. It's like
It's like the on the other opposite side of the axis.
yeah, the veils are thinnest between the living and the dead on Samhain, but same thing on Beltane, or on Beltane Eve into May 1st. So technically tonight, midnight, you know, be prime time. But that's things to come, lives to come, spirits to come, energies to come, planting time, planting of great things. Of you know, we all this paganism's on this like this farmer trip, and we're not all farmers. You know, there's planting time, you know, there's fertilizing time, there's planting time, there's harvest time, but we're not all farmers. So I learned this when I was a kid too. It's like, you know, I lived in Long Beach, so you know, most of the trees, if we had any trees, there are palm trees and eucalyptus trees. But we're in this whole like you know, farming and plant religion. So it's like, you know, we're planting growth for our bank accounts and our stock portfolios and things like that. We're harvesting these same things. We've got, you know, we're fertilizing for those things. We're planting those things at the planting time. So the things that we may be planting, and may be very, very mundane things, are you know, mundane things in our lives. But it's I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to think of what the word is. It's symbolic. You know,
Yeah.
It's a metaphorical. I guess that's the thing I'm looking for. Metaphorical. It's a metaphor.
I just saw a video
Yes.
come over from NBC that says breaking news. We're
Yes.
not going to play the video. It says Robert Mueller told Attorney General Barr that his depiction of the report was not accurate.
Wait. Say it again.
So you know Barr, the guy who like redacted everything and said,
Yeah. Trump's buddy. Yeah. But
So Mueller told this guy Barr that his depiction of the report was inaccurate. I don't know what we're gonna do with this information now, but it's, you know, say what you want about MSNBC, but it's not going to run this if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, especially because that video, which I'm not going to play here.
Yeah.
But it's right there. I don't know, man. I keep, getting my hopes up. And nothing happens.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And I get my hopes up, and then nothing happens, so I don't really know how I feel about this. But
This is the kind of thing that takes up a lot of our days. Just watching the shit show.
yeah.
Such a shit show out there, and that's where our shit show is.
Well, and I
Beltane.
feel like it just gets a little bit worse every day.
Yeah.
There's always like some lines that you think nobody's gonna cross, and then they do.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it's gonna go. I don't know if they're actually gonna start to impeach. I know the Senate's not gonna impeach, so I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I know. Well, there's that thing that they were talking about today, and you found the word. I don't know if you remember what the word is called anymore, but it's more than contempt.
Oh, it's something contempt.
It's like some extreme word for contempt.
Yeah, it's something contempt. Just keep talking and I'll find it.
But and they're talking about imposing this contempt of the court on the members of the Trump team and this administration that are obstructing Congress in their investigation and refusing to provide the evidence that they're requesting and subpoenaing and all this. This shit just keeps going on. The majority of everything that they ever asked Trump for to provide, they haven't. They haven't yet. This is years, and at least since the House got taken over by the Democrats, there's nothing provided. They're just not providing the evidence that's been subpoenaed, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I don't know why any of us would want to be like worried about the government. Hey. Whoa! Jesus, dog! What the hell?
Got something floating around.
What was it? Did something actually fly around?
Whoa! What are they doing?
All right, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to see what the dogs are barking at.
Hey.
I'll play you this.
Play music.
You can say that it's about the savages. You can say you have a better way to live. You can call it manifest destiny. You can talk of all your civilization will give. You can say that we're a thing of history, and progress is the future you will bring. You can send your armies to these mountains. You can say we'll prosper beneath your king. But there will always be resistance. The next battle will always be near. As long as you have everything, there will be those who have nothing to fear. And little by little, or maybe all at once, you will lose. Because our future is not yours to choose. You can say you've got to stop the communists. You can say that our ideals can't succeed. You can say that competition is the only way, and a global system based on greed. You can call yourself a Democrat. You can call yourself whatever you will. You can keep on stamping out the fires you start, so you might stay on top of the hill. There will always be resistance. The next battle will always be near. As long as you have everything, there will be those who have nothing to fear. And little by little, or maybe all at once, you will lose. Because our future is not yours to choose. You can say that all of us are terrorists, madmen bent on destroying all that's free. You can say that we are building weapons as your bombers fly from sea to bloody sea. You can say you're with us or against us, and to die quietly is what we now must do. You can maintain your innocence. You can say that you are many as you represent the few. But there will always be resistance. The next battle will always be near. As long as you have everything, there will be those who have nothing to fear. And little by little, or maybe all at once, you will lose. Because our future is not yours to choose.
David Rovix. We still don't know why the dogs were barking, but all right. Dogs will be dogs, I guess. Let's see. I had a Beltane story in here. Let's see if I saved it properly.
So anyway, that
not
story that
seeing-
I read was
Yeah.
Also the main story on the HuffPo site too. It's not just MSNBC.
Yeah, I had I can't find my story. You're listening to Widdershins, where
Okay.
we're singing while looking up our stories.
Okay. Robert Mueller told William Barr
Oh, yeah.
he mischaracterized his findings. The news about the special counsel comes ahead of the Attorney General's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Do these dudes in this day and age really think they're not going to get caught? Like, he's just not going to say anything? He's going to let this guy say the total opposite of what he found, and he's just going to sit there?
I know. And it's
I
like,
don't even understand.
they can subpoena him.
Special counsel Robert Mueller told Attorney General William Barr in his letter to Congress at the conclusion of Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election mischaracterized the special counsel report. The Washington Post reported Tuesday, Mueller complained to Barr that his 4-page letter, quote, did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance, end quote, of the special counsel report. According to the Post, quote, there is now public confusion about critical aspects of the results of our investigation. This threatens to undermine the central purpose for which the department appointed the special counsel, to assure full public confidence in the outcome of the investigations, quote, Mueller wrote in a letter, the Post said. The revelation came hours before Barr is set to testify on his handling of the probe before the Senate Judiciary Committee. A spokesman for Mueller declined to comment. Justice Department spokeswoman Carrie Kupek told HuffPost on Tuesday that in a subsequent conversation between Mueller and Barr, the special counsel emphasized that nothing in the Attorney General's March 24th letter was inaccurate or misleading, but that Mueller was frustrated by the lack of context and the resulting media coverage regarding the special counsel's obstruction analysis. Italics. This is a developing story. Please check back for updates.
Wow.
He says, lack of context. I don't know. He doesn't like it. That's all I'm saying. No, sir, I don't like it.
But I think it's I think it's Thursday that Barr is supposed to testify in front of the House, and he might not show up now.
I think it was the Senate, and I just said that. I just read about it. Let's see.
I think he would show up if it was the Senate.
Ahead of the Attorney General's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee. I think it said it's on Thursday.
Huh.
So, hours before Barr is set to testify on his handling of the probe before the Senate Judiciary Committee. So, when is this happening? Hours? What time was this? Okay, I cannot handle my shit. Let's see. Okay. Updated 20 minutes ago. So, I don't know when he said that.
All right. Well,
Why do you have to do that?
Oh, right. There's this other thing about Beltane, and why it was always such a busy time in my world is it's like May 1st is May Day, and May Day is an activist thing.
Mary's Day, typo.
Yeah,
May Day.
yeah, but May Day is an activist thing all around the world. There's protests.
We
unions.
celebrated it in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and that's what they will say. They will call it a communist holiday because workers everywhere around the world protest and clash.
I think it's called День Победы, which is when the Nazis were defeated.
Say it again?
I think it's День Победы, which is when they celebrate the defeat of the Nazis in World War II.
Huh.
You keep talking, I'm gonna...
Marta knows how to spell that crazy
fact
thing that
check
she said, so
myself.
she's going to fact check herself.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say Russia
but-
May 1st.
But so in the morning of May 1st, there will be reports all over the world of clashes, riots, protests in the street, May Day celebrations. So for me, as a pagan, as a priest, organizer, it was a busy day. And I don't know what day,
All right.
I don't know what year it was, but I'm not even sure if Marta was there, if Marta had to be at work. But we had, I was at work, and it was Beltane. And
What are you talking about?
I'm getting ready to talk about it. I haven't gotten to the point yet. But I was at the shop, and we were on this busy street, a little distance from downtown Santa Cruz, and we would do this thing on May Day. We had this maypole that we had been using for I don't know, 10 years. I actually, we brought it all the way up to Grass Valley with us. So it was, but I think it was at least 10 years that we've been using that same maypole, and we would take the maypole out front. There was a bike rack. It was just,
I'm sorry. День Победы is May 9th, Victory Day. I knew it was in May.
All right.
Okay. Go on.
Okay. And we would duct tape the maypole to the bike rack on the sidewalk out front of the shop, and
I remember that.
dance the maypole partially into traffic.
Yeah.
Or at least, a parking spot or so. We were relatively
The crazy
careful.
witches we were.
Yeah, but it was always quite a scene, and we'd post it, on Facebook. I don't think we had the ability to Facebook Live most of those years, but we'd post the video, and it was always a scene, and we'd have a huge Beltane celebration there, because that was also the store's birthday as well, and one year, this was the point of the plot. It's like, I don't remember what exact year it was, but there was a riot in downtown Santa Cruz, and it was, kind of black blockish anarchists, probably from somewhere else, breaking windows, throwing paint bombs,
I don't remember when that was,
stirring
though.
shit up. Yeah, I don't remember when that shit it was, but do you recall the torches?
No.
Yeah, so this is before the Charlottesville thing. Back in Santa Cruz, some bunch of anarchists decided that they would advertise a torch-lit march on Beltane Eve, I believe, or no, on Beltane, the evening of Beltane, downtown Santa Cruz, which is like one street where all the shops and everything are on. And what could possibly go wrong when a bunch of people have torches? It tends to make people kind of mob up. So it turned bad. There was kind of a riot, and but all the cops in the town know who I am, and as they would roll by the store, I would make sure to step out into traffic and wave, and just make sure that they all see me. I'm like 3 blocks from downtown, man. I'm not involved in it. I heard about it happening, but those were the younger kids. There's the younger. This was like after the black bloc. I don't even know what those kids were. Yeah. They came with hammers and bricks and paint bombs. They came to riot, which I absolutely respect. But I was not there. I had nothing to do with it, and I could prove it because of my religion. And then one time, they went and killed Osama bin Laden. Remember that one?
On Beltane?
Yeah. Yeah, they killed Osama bin Laden on Beltane. Remember that? Yeah. We found out about it. We were off doing our rituals and shit. And I came home and I saw it on the fucking news. Like, wow. Killed fucking Osama bin Laden. Wow. Man.
Well, glad I didn't have to be at work.
Yeah. So let's see. We should probably take us a break. Look, it's like 5:48. Even though we kind of took a break when the dogs barked, that didn't really count because we didn't get any of our break stuff done.
That was more of an emergency break.
That was, yeah. We had to check the perimeter. The dogs. Yeah. All right. Widdershins with more Beltane, and I found that story and more stories and the Seinfeld edition, the show about nothing, coming up.
In the woods there grew a tree, and a fine, fine tree was he.
And on that tree there was a limb, and on that limb there was a branch, and on that branch there was a nest, and in that nest there was an egg, and in that egg there was a bird, and from that bird a feather came, and all that feather was a bed. And on that bed there was a girl, and on that girl there was a man, and from that man there was a seed, and from that seed there was a boy, and from that boy there was a man, and from that man there was a grain, and from that grain there grew a tree. And on that tree there was a limb, and on that limb there was a branch, and on that branch there was a nest, and in that nest there was an egg, and in that egg there was a bird, and from that bird a feather came, and all that feather was a bed. And on that bed there was a girl, and on that girl there was a man, and from that man there was a seed, and from that seed there was a boy, and from that boy there was a man, and from that man there was a grain, and from that grain there grew a And on that tree there was a limb, and on that limb there was a branch, and on that branch there was a nest, and in that nest there was an egg, and in that egg there was a bird, and on that bird a feather came, and all that feather was a bed. And on that bed there was a girl, and on that girl there was a man, and from that man there was a seed, and from that seed there was a boy, and from that boy there was a man, and from that man there was a grain, and from that grain there grew a
Oh, I thought they were going to do it one more time. I always forget how many times they're going to repeat the same thing over. I grew up with that song. I think of the first Beltane I was ever at. They were singing that song, and I had not seen The Wicker Man yet. And that was the Maypole song from the original Wicker Man. And I must have found that on iTunes to even have it on this phone, to have it on the mobile broadcast. It must be available on iTunes. I don't know who the artist. Well, it's right here. Magnet. Okay, dumbass. Yeah, Magnet. Also, there's Gently Johnny. I have a couple songs from there. Probably from our last Beltane show. Hello, clown to the right of me.
Joker to the left.
Happy Beltane.
Happy Oh no, Azzy's licking
Azzy.
Lucero.
Don't lick Lucero. Hey, that's not your honey. It's like trying to.
He's licking his chops.
He's licking his chops.
He loves Lucero. Oh, now he's licking my legs.
Yes.
He's all about the Beltane spirit.
So tonight, I'd say okay. So we're Beltane Eve 2019, waning moon.
It's like
close to the
void of course, and almost.
It's an Aries.
Almost an Aries.
Almost an Aries.
At let me see. I think it said at at about 3 in the morning. It's gonna go into Aries.
All right. Yeah. And that'll be Beltane. And where?
But it's
when's the new moon? How close
it's
are we?
waning right now.
Yeah.
The new moon is on soon. The new moon is on May 4th.
May 4th. All right.
Yeah.
I would.
May the 4th be with you.
That's right. All right. So on May the 4th be with you
Yeah.
is the new moon.
Yes.
Yeah, that excellent planting time. So I would say
Are we
now's
gonna plant?
good fertilizing time. Yeah, well we've been planting. We got a couple more spaces for more pots.
We gotta transplant the bit. The
Yeah.
pot's right there.
Yep. It's been one of the first times we've actually planted in spring.
Yeah.
Yay us.
Yeah, yes.
We usually, plant, around harvest time we get around to
Whenever
it.
we feel like it, 'cause we're in LA.
Yeah, but we did that in like Grass Valley too. Like we were planting shit in the summer.
I
And
never
then,
even think about that. I'm a
Yeah.
bad witch.
yeah.
Are you a good witch? I'm a bad witch.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. I was going to read you that story. You want to hear the
Read
story?
the story.
Hear the story?
Read us the story.
It's
Top of
it's
merch.
story time. Oh damn it! What is this chicken of the sea shit? Oh, okay.
Chicken of the sea?
See, this is what happened last time. I had the fucking article, and then this chicken of the sea article fucking pop up takes
Remember
over
we were
the
talking about
fucking
chicken of the
article.
sea.
Were we?
See? Yeah.
Oh, see
It
that the
listens.
phones are listening to us, man. There's just like there's not even a way to go back. Well, I did have the story. Really, I did. Let's see. Let's see if I have the story. There we go. I'm just gonna read it fucking
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I'm gonna read it off my goddamn Facebook then. Jesus. From the BBC News. Beltane's May Queen rages about planet damage. April 30th, 2019. The annual pagan-inspired Beltane Fire Festival in Edinburgh has been overhauled this year due to highlight climate change. The May Queen, who's the central character in the performance on Calton Hill, will be seen expressing her rage at the damage done to the earth. Her costume has been made with recycled materials to portray oil spills and deforestation. She said it depicts the earth as it truly is. Performers have encouraged the use of recycled materials in their costumes. The festival, which starts later Tuesday, has also switched to e-ticketing to reduce its environmental impact. There will be 300 performers taking part and the capacity of 8,000 spectators. Katie O'Neill, who's this year's May Queen, said, "Our planet is dying and collectively we are living through the cycles of grief." Denial, both the climate change denialism of the problem and the retreat into hedonistic what can we do. Anger, the rage at our leaders for inaction, or the simmering anger that our problems are anyone's fault, the foreigners, the experts, the ignorant, but our own. Bargaining, the energy spent on activism, the hopes pinned on technology that somehow can stop this, even reverse this. Depression, the epidemic of hopelessness, of nihilism for a future lost before it's begun. It is the right to grieve. Grief is a sign of love, and the earth we love is dying. This year's Beltane reflects the grief of the May Queen, embodied of the earth, not as perfect flower tradition, but as the earth as it truly is, covered with plastic, oil spills, and on fire.
Where's the broom?
I put it back in the closet. The broom closet. Oh, that's the whole story. Oh, man. All right. Well, that's well, that was interesting. I recall once upon a time, I think it was Starhawk's Spiral Dance around Samhain, a huge event, or was a huge event back then, up in San Francisco, and they were doing a ritual. And they got these friends of mine who were Earth First activists who would go around and hang banners and stuff. Hang banners up on trees, on bridges, on buildings. Usually get arrested for doing that kind of thing. And they enlisted these friends of mine who did that thing to drop down out of the rafters of the building in the North Quarter with a banner that said "Defend Headwaters Forest" when they invoked Earth. I thought that was kick-ass. I may disagree with reclaiming here and there. I take a more radical approach to most things, but there has been some kick-ass political witchcraft out there, few and far between, but there has been some, and reclaiming definitely has done some, and I see this, that's the kind of thing I see from the May Queen here in the UK, and I think it's great to see in these dark days that we live in, where we've got Trump putting people in charge of the environment that hate the environment or don't believe in climate change. It's like Trump puts the opposite people in jobs, or he searches opposite of and puts those people in the jobs. But it's good to see that kind of
about that Stephen Moore guy.
Well, I hadn't really talked about anybody specifically, but I was talking about the kind of activist stand that the May Queen's taking there in the UK.
Oh, okay.
And for me, it's it's refreshing. It's like when I was an activist and musician, we were singing and preaching to the choir. We were singing and preaching to a bunch of activists and a bunch of anarchists, and the rest of the world didn't give a shit. And most of the shit that I see that we were woke on back then, the majority of people were woke on, or at least the majority of the people that I know, at least. And that's the world I want to function in, anyways. But people are woke now. They're active now. It might be too late, huh? It might be too late, for the planet, people to finally wake up. But it's good to see. And now, we're living through Trump, and sometimes it takes something that bad. We gotta. They say, with addiction, you gotta hit bottom. Like maybe this is America's hitting bottom.
Well, that's what I was going off on my social media the other day.
Yeah.
I was saying how this is our wake-up call.
Yeah.
Because if it's this easy for one idiot who knows nothing about nothing to come along and be like, nope, I'm going to do what I want, and then get away with it with nobody stopping him, then our country's fucking weak. Like, we make such a big deal about how great our country is and free elections and, all these freedoms and stuff, but it doesn't mean anything if it's this easy for one person to come along and the whole thing topples.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
We're very frail. Very frail.
Well, the fact that Nixon fired the guy in charge of the investigation against Nixon, and nobody fixed that, all the way up to Trump. Trump was able to fire the guy that was investigating him, and that had happened before, and nobody fixed that. Like, we
and then he's
got
able
a broken
to
system.
hire people who aren't even pretending to be impartial.
Yeah.
Like the bar guy. He's not impartial. Like, he fucking redacted everything and put his own spin on it to the point where the guy who wrote the report is telling him that it's inaccurate. He's not even pretending to be fair. It's like, This is the Attorney General. He's not Trump's personal attorney.
Yeah.
He's the attorney for this country. He's lying to the people who he's supposed to represent. He is not Trump's personal attorney. He's acting like it. He's like covering up for Trump. He's not supposed to do that. He's supposed to tell us if Trump is fucking up. His job is to tell us.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. It's ridiculous.
Well, when I remember when he went through his confirmation and all that, you know, and even after that, I thought that Barr was an intelligent guy, at the very least. I may not agree with whatever, but he seemed like a smart guy, and to bury the Mueller report in this 4-page summary and expect that was going to fly.
Redact everything.
well, then when he finally is forced to produce the paperwork, it's this redacted as hell fucking paperwork. He thought that was going to fly. The guy's not as smart as I thought. There's no way they're going to let that fly. Speaking of flying, ghetto bird, come on.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. There are things happening now that if you were to tell me 10 years ago that this was going to happen, I would laugh in your face.
And
like somebody just deciding, number one, to not turn over his tax returns while he's running like everybody else does. Not only that, but he gets subpoenaed once and ignores it, doesn't do it. So then they subpoena him again and extend the deadline, and he still doesn't do it. This is unheard of.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever done this. Like, what? Why does he not want to show his tax? Like, now I want to see him even more.
Yeah.
Clearly he's hiding something.
Well, like
it's not like a matter of principle. Well, I just don't feel like it. Like, no, he's hiding something.
Yeah. Well, like the Mueller report. Like the innocent don't hide evidence. The innocent want to prove their innocence.
And that's what they always say about, like, when a police officer shoots a black kid or something, they're always like, well, why was he running? If he had nothing to hide, why was he running? It's like, don't fucking use that as your argument. You actively hide things all the time. Don't use that as a defense or as a non-defense for somebody else. I can't. I cannot with these people. I can't.
Yeah. Well, and the thing I'm always on about, especially on a show like this, like Trump panders to anybody that will support him. He'll pander to Nazis
and openly does the opposite.
Yeah.
To anybody just who wants to be impartial, like the last Attorney General, Jeff Sessions.
Yep.
He would recuse himself when he needed to recuse himself, and Trump openly would tweet being like, I can't believe Jeff did this to me, and I never would have hired him. Like, he's not even hiding the fact that he does not expect him to be impartial. He's open about him expecting him not to be impartial and side with him no matter what. He's fully open about that. And nothing gets done. We just sit there and take it, and then we wonder, gee, how did Hitler rise to power?
Yeah.
How did that happen? How were so many Jews and other people killed? How did anybody allow that to happen? It's happening right now.
It's almost snuggling.
We have a dog putting her head on Azzy's tail. It's so cool.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot what I was going to go. You had such a good rant there that it totally threw me off my rant. Yeah.
Is that it?
We've needed to, I guess, see how bad it can be, and still.
I'm hoping there's some like huge cosmic reason behind all this that we're just too primitive to understand right now.
Well, I think you hit on, and that's what I was looking for. It's like there was something you posted on Facebook the other day. I said, I think it's the higher self of the country. You know, it put us in this position to teach us a lesson. It doesn't care how painful the lesson.
Doesn't care if my insurance gets taken away.
Yeah, it's the higher self of the country to teach us to grow. And people are still out there ranting about, well, this is not democracy. It's like, well, we're not a democracy, and I think you need to quit saying that shit. And I think we need to quit selling that all over the world. It'd be great to be a democracy. We're a constitutional republic, and it operates rather differently than a democracy. Kind of like how you might imagine electoral colleges and shit like that. That doesn't happen in a true democracy. They don't have electoral colleges fucking everything up. But we've never been a democracy. We weren't even designed to be a democracy. It's a great idea. We should try it. And I always say this, like, fucking communism, socialism, great idea. Democracy, great idea. Those are all great ideas in their philosophy. But they've never actually been tried. True communism, true socialism, true democracy. They've never actually been tried on Earth. Some makeshift versions of them that are always ruled by the rich of that group. The rich socialist, the rich communist, and the rich democratist. Always the same fucking scenario. There's always this power, these people in power, these people not in power. And those ideas of democracy, communism, socialism, all three are about the people being in power and government serving the people in varying degrees, and they're really not that different. They're all about the control of the people. One, they're emphasizing on the control of the workers and the Workers' Party, and there's a lot of party politics and stuff. But basically, the idea was that a lot of our ancestors in a lot of different countries apparently wanted to have the people in control of the people that ran the rest of the world, that ran the government, ran it for them. And we're taught that these are all opposing ideals. Even anarchy. Anarchy absolutely was, the absolute extreme control of the people for their destinies. But they're really, at their core, similar ideas, different approaches to similar ideas that have never been tried. The couple communist countries that we still see existing out there, they're not communist countries. North Korea? How are the people in control of a fucking thing in North Korea? Where's the workers' control in North Korea? Not fucking communism. There's the fucking the ruling class and everybody else.
We've never had communism anywhere on this planet.
No, we never had communism. We never had socialism. We never had democracy. Look at more, almost a snuggle. Oh. Butt stuff. But the people that control us, they lead us to believe that these are all opposing ideals. They're really all the same thing. It's like the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor.
That's how it works everywhere.
That's how it works everywhere. Communism is, the ultimate philosophy is sharing. Everybody gets an equal share, and everybody contributes what they can to the pot. That has not happened. It does not happen in fucking communist countries. Socialism, the workers are in control, and the government serves the people and serves the people's needs. Well, that hasn't happened. Nobody's done that. All great ideas, all great philosophies. Somebody should try someday. But the fact that we're fighting each other and having wars over these alleged philosophies that don't actually exist in the world, it's rather silly. That's basically what I would have to say about that.
Yeah.
Silly.
Silly.
You agree that it's silly?
I agree with silly.
It is silly.
Silly.
Time is it? 6:17. All right, so that had something to do with Beltane. Oh yeah, the communist stuff and the socialist stuff, and May Day,
Yeah, but
red
that
flag.
doesn't have to do with Beltane. It just has to do with May 1st. International Workers' Day.
Yeah, but as I've often said, when pagan has to become a thing, it has to become its own separate thing. You have to identify it. Because before that, it was just the way people were, and then Christianity comes along and shakes everything up. When that happens, Christianity, when it takes its firm foothold and starts to control things, it's a religion dominated by the upper class. And especially like British countries, Ireland, Scotland, these kinds of places, when it comes into its heyday, it's coming off of the Roman Catholic Church at that point, and it is a religion of the upper class. And kings are writing Bibles and shit, King James and stuff. But the people building the churches and building the monuments and doing the actual work are the peasants. The peasants tend to be pagan. And matter of fact, that's where those terms really come into use. I mean, the Romans used the words heathen back in their day when referring to the Germanic people that lived up in the mountains. And then later down the road, the Roman Catholic Church uses the word pagans to refer to the people that lived out in the country. So in that context of the ruling class being the Christians and referring to the peasant class out in the country as pagans, pagan pretty much meant hick in the way we would say it now, hick, redneck, that kind of thing. Whereas heathen, a dweller on the heath, somebody that lived on a hill, hillbilly. They were classist terms as much as they were religious terms. They were classist terms that implied a religious stance, the old, outdated religions of the times. So paganism, after the time of Christianity and from that time onward, was a religion of the peasants, a religion of the working class. The people that actually built the Christian churches were the working class, the Masons, and they apparently got some liberality to incorporate the pagan gods into the actual churches all over Europe. It's brilliant idea. But so I've often seen that connection with the activist, working class / communist, socialist, anarcho-socialist versions of May Day and their connection to Beltane. And as such, it's always, a very busy time. Except for that one time when there was a riot downtown, and I was seen outside directing the maypole. I had a good alibi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those were like, they weren't really black. Oh. Yeah. Sasha's coming up to tell me something. Okay. Say hi to Widdershins. Say
Hi,
Widdershins.
Hi, Widdershins.
No, do you like this? Widdershins.
Widdershins.
Close, man, close.
What?
Well, I don't want you to mess up your voice at this early age. You don't need to do death metal. All right. That's really cool. Go eat your dinner.
Okay. Wait, I finished it.
Oh, good boy.
Can
I will
have
verify
dessert?
that. Well, not right this second. I'm on the radio. But I'll get to that at the usual time.
Hello.
Quit looking at your levels. Quit looking at your levels.
It's like the Simpsons when Homer starts going to like see it bounce.
I don't remember that one,
Yeah.
but it's like that.
Yeah.
Sounds like that.
He starts talking and he sees the things going up and down, and then he goes to see what it does.
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. Well, I meant to look up when they what year that was they killed Osama bin Laden, but that's not important. But yeah, that was like it was Beltane, I think, that they announced it, something like that. So yeah, there's some pagan shit going on there, man. He was like a sacrifice.
Yeah.
He was like the Wicker Man and stuff.
Not really.
No.
But
Well,
they didn't
man.
like some of it. I don't remember all the details, but I think like some of his wives like ran in front of him to shield him. And shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to that.
They got sacrificed too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. They kill you. I don't know if they killed anybody else.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
I'm losing my voice. I've been losing my voice for days.
Don't be losing your voice
You
for
don't
days.
care. You want
I
me to
don't
lose
care.
my voice.
No, I don't.
Yes.
I gave you something to gargle with there, baby.
I can't.
The hacking clown to the right of me.
I'm not hacking. I'm just losing my voice.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Osama bin Laden. Yeah.
Beltane.
Well, a lot of the stuff we were referencing before, I've always got to mention. If you haven't seen it, you need to find The Wicker Man, not the one with Nicolas Cage. And even if you find The Wicker Man, you're probably going to find a censored version of The Wicker Man where you miss some critical scenes. But God, that movie had a lot of lore, a lot of old lost pagan practices and pagan lore. More stuff about Beltane than you'll ever pick up in a book. You could peel apart the entire Golden Bough and not come up with most of that stuff. You could come up with probably half of that stuff in there because it was so ancient. But it's a horror movie. Back when before Christopher Lee's hair was all gray, he was like a young man, like his 20s or something like that. Played Lord Summersisle. Probably the role that typecast him forever is just a bad guy in everything. It's like as early in his career, man. Lord Summersisle. There's just so much Beltane lore. And I was going to say that, I was hoping in later years that maybe your Catholic school would incorporate like maybe the hobby horse and maybe even the Wicker Man. They could do Wicker Man 2 for Beltane.
I don't think they would ever do it. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, since they didn't do any research on what the maypole was, they might.
I wonder how they even came up with that.
I don't know.
I should call them and write a story on it, interview them.
Yeah.
Be like, I used to go there, tell me what's up.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, because I'll probably find myself saying it, several times a week. Like people go, is it okay? I still have Christian beliefs, but I'm a witch. It's like, while I don't really get into Christian witches, the fact is that there's nothing really that exists within their religion without paganism. And the holidays is fucking huge that way. And Beltane, Beltane was not one that I could say that about. It's like all of the Christian holidays came from paganism, and we can show that, and we can see that, and they recorded that at the Council of Nicaea. They wrote down what they did and why they chose those holidays. But Beltane was never really, a big connected holiday, or we couldn't see an equivalent in Christianity for Beltane, and then your old high school pulled that out of their ass and go, whoa, it's a new one.
Just pulled that out of their ass.
Well, there is a Mary's Day in the Catholic Church, but it is different days. There's no set date, but there is it is a thing. But the maypole, there's no connection to the maypole anywhere.
Yeah,
I did a little research.
They just had somebody Google like May 1st celebrations, and they found a picture of the maypole and the lore of the maypole, and didn't really research it enough to know what it was for. And they were like, "Oh, we could do this fun little activity." I'm sure that's how it happened. Lack of dedicated research.
Well, I love that. That's how That's how witches and Wiccans fuck shit up. You know, lack of research. And then they end up, doing stupid stuff. So, doing backwards stuff. Opposite of. We're at 6:27.
You have to do the PSA.
For Hexfest. I suppose you're right. Because that's summer. And we're now, just at the start of spring. So that's coming up. Oh my God, it's going to be hot. Let's see. So, Hexfest. Have you heard of it? You know about it?
No.
You haven't? Well,
No.
let me tell you. August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Hexfest. A weekend of witchery in old New Orleans.
August is my power month.
Well, yeah, it's your power month, Leo. Join in the magic. Tales of the magic of the crescent city of New Orleans stretch back over the centuries. It's an enigmatic place where voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, and even Christianity blend at the crossroads of
She
spiritual
started
power.
sniffing the cat's butt, and the cat started walking faster, and so then she started walking faster, and I'm like, no, you must not run.
So the dog is sniffing the black cat's butt. So that's still witchcraft related. But anyways,
Beltane related.
voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, and even Christianity blend at the crossroads of spiritual power. On August 9th to the 11th, 2019, Brian, Kane, Christian Day, and the Witches of New Orleans present Hexfest, a weekend of witchery held in the heart of the historic French Quarter. The conference opens with a riverboat ritual and dinner held on an authentic steamboat on the Mississippi River, followed by 2 full days of workshops, drumming, and ritual at the Bourbon's Orleans Hotel, a venue riddled with a history of hauntings. Hexfest has gathered witches, root workers, voodoo priests, and other magical teachers from within New Orleans and around the world to offer their time-honored wisdom. Between workshops, attendees will love the magical shopping in our on-site vending hall, where you can purchase powerful ritual tools, signed books, exquisite jewelry, and spellcrafts, handmade by true practitioners. Clear up a lung for this part. Presenters for the 2019 Hexfest hail from across the spectrum of witchcraft and magic and include Brian Kane, Christian Day, Austin Shippey, Byron Ballard, Carrie O'Crow, Christine Steffens, Dorothy Morrison, the Dragon Ritual Drummers, Fiona Horn, Hoodoo Sen Moise, Lady Rhea, Laura Tempest Zaycroft, Michael Carell, Melissa Mayhem, Patricia Telesco, Rosemary Ellen Gilly, Sally Ann Glassman, Sandra Maria Wright, Sen Elias, Sarita Deste, Star Cassis, Star Ravenhawk, Witch Doctor Utu, and Yeshe Matthews. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced practitioner, Hexfest will help you discover the secrets of witchcraft and help you expand your mastery of the magical arts. You can't click here to register like it says. You got to go to hexfest.com. You don't know how to spell hex and fest? Get off my lawn. Hexfest.com. Go check it out. Get some tickets. Be my first time presenting there. Be me and Marta's first time there. Hopefully we won't melt before my workshops, but we're excited. It's going to sell out just because of that. Just because of that, the whole thing's going to sell out. So you got to get your tickets, man. I know it's not even May. August right around the corner, man. You got to get it. Got to get it. Nod?
Nod.
Yeah, they can't see you nodding.
So
You gotta say, yeah.
Shakes head
Gotcha.
up and down.
Yeah,
Shakes
yeah.
head up and down.
Should we play a song from The Wicker Man? Let's see, we played one. So we got Gently Johnny.
I don't like any of those songs.
You don't like Gently Johnny?
I just don't like the the hippie parts of
Hippie
witchcraft.
parts. All right. I'll find
I
something
mean, I
else.
can respect it, but I'm
You
not
can-
like dying to hear Jelly Johnny.
All right, so you can respect the hippie parts. You don't like the hippie parts.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, I got other stuff. This is a Mayday kind of song right here. Widdershins, we'll be back.
His eyes, they closed, and his last breath spoke. He had seen all to be seen. A life once full, now an empty vase, with the blossoms on his early grave. Walk away, me boy, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe that golden tear from your mother dear, and raise what's left of the flag for me. Then the rosary beads, counting 1, 2, 3, fell apart as they hit the floor. In our garb of black, we must pay respect to the colour we're born to mourn. Walk away, me boys, by morning we'll be free. Wipe the golden tear from your mother dear, raise what's left of the flag for me. Stickaroo, an angry fist start a wound filled with hatred and remorse. Where I pick and scratch till the blood it matched the silent rage now that fills my lungs. For there are many ways to kill a man, they say, with bayonet, axe or sword. But son, a bullet fired from a shapeless ghost to put the shell of a Thompson gun. Walk away, me boys, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe the golden tear from your mother dear, raise what's left of the flag for me. From the east out to the western shore, where many men and many more will fall. The angel flies with me tonight, the freedom reigns on all. I curse the names for which we slaved our days, till every man shall his kingdom come. But sure as night turns day, it's the passion play. Oh my God, what have they done? With madman's rage, well they dug our graves, but the dead rise again, you fools. Walk away, me boys, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe the golden tear from your mother dear, raise what's left of the flag for me. Walk away, me boys, and by morning we'll be free. Wipe that golden tear from your mother dear, and raise what's left of the flag for me.
A new age of reason, brain treason to trick the mind. What good is searching if nothing's there to find? We arrive at this place of no return, my brothers, only to discover that our minds have led us away so far from the paper truth of who we are. both bear witness. See the profit from your loss, beg for forgiveness. Only after you tally the cost. We arrive at this place of no return, my sisters, only to discover that our values right off the ground are the show in the sea of what we could be. What's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure. All promises become a lie, all that's been right corrupts in time. All the if it's real for me, do I have to prove it to you? Why do revelations fade to cold blue untruths? It's all so relative, subservient to total one's perspective. Yeah. What's right is wrong, what's come is gone, what's clear and pure is not so sure. All promises become a lie, all that's been right corrupts in time. All the epiphany, always failing me.
Radio. And, I got another story. Well, you can find me on YouTube at Freakphil1309. That's FreakPhil, and the number's 1309. And those of you that, aren't in the cheap seats, you can find me at gumroad.com/witchschool. That's where I sell my paid things. I have all kind of free stuff on YouTube, but I just started my second year and a day course of the year on YouTube. I'll open it up, on Gumroad. It's gumroad.com/witchschool, which is, of course, WITCHSKEWL. And the class is May 1st, Witch School Year and a Day. And so I just launched that, and that's going to be, the class is going to be open until, I think May 15th is the cutoff date. I want to put a shout out in the chat room, y'all. I would say hi in the chat room, but last time I did that on this app, it locked up and I had to reboot the whole show. Yeah, I need to just test that out. I need to do a test broadcast and test and see if they fix that. But I haven't wanted to risk chatting in the chat room since then, because it just, we had to start the entire show all over again 5 minutes into it, and that sucks. But even though I teach witchcraft and stuff, this story, I believe, is a friend of mine wrote it. Let's see, doesn't say who the goddamn author. Yeah, for Puck's sake, it's Matt. It's Matt Aron. Yeah, there we go. April 26th. Matt Aron from For Puck's Sake. For Puck's Sake on Pathos Pagan. You cannot be taught to be a witch. You cannot, or you can be taught witchcraft, but you cannot be taught to be a witch. This may seem like an odd statement from someone who teaches witchcraft for a living. That's why I figured I could read this too. And has written a forthcoming book on witchcraft. But it's the truth. I can no more teach you how to become a witch than I can teach a seed to sprout and grow. I can place the seed in the proper environment, water it, expose it to the right amount of sunshine and shade, but I cannot teach it to grow and transform into a plant. It must discover its own magic to do that on its own. You cannot be taught to be a witch, but you can learn to be a witch. I can show you which words to recite out loud, when to whisper them and when to roar them. I can show you which words to coat into honey and which to drench in vinegar, and they come out of your mouth to paint the air. But I cannot teach you what honey or vinegar is to your soul. I can share with you a mystery, but I cannot tumble it like an amethyst within your mind until it's smooth as glass and fits within your own palm. I can hand it to you and show you how to hold it and which colored light in your witch eye to envelop it within, but I cannot make it sing for you, nor can I make you hear its song. I can show you the technique to get you into a trance state where inner wells of power hide, what the different paths of your souls are, but I cannot teach you to truly tap into, to connect, to merge, and to integrate. Only you can do this. I can show you the process of examination, the methods of deep inner healing, but I cannot teach you to where those wounded aspects of yourself you keep under lock and key are concealed, especially those aspects you hide even from yourself. I can show you what to imagine and what to feel, but I cannot make you do either. I can show you how I work with dried herbs and which properties they hold. I cannot teach you how to reanimate the spirit of their roots to empower the spell working. I can only share how I do it. I can share with you the knowledge, my experiences, my thoughts, my musings. I can share with you the knowledge and experience of peers, students, and elders I've come to know, either in person or from their written works. I can never teach you how to understand that knowledge or enliven it as wisdom for you, despite however much I wish that I could. I can show you how to cast spells. I can't get them to work for you. I can show you how to fly without your body, but I cannot lift you out of your body into the astral. I can show you how to call the gods and spirits. I cannot make them listen or respond to you. I can teach you enchantments. I cannot enchant your world for you. And that's just a bit. Check that out. It's for puck's sake at pathos.com. But I read that when he posted on his Facebook page, and I resonated with that. What makes a witch is practice. It's doing things. Some people may be working, but to know when the sacred times happen. You know, Beltane. Here we're at Beltane Eve, and then Beltane, equinoxes, solstices, and do something for that. Like even when I was working for minimum wage, like when I was a kid as a busboy, you know, I took my break and went into the bathroom in one of the stalls at the moments of the solstices and equinoxes if they happened when I was working. I couldn't perform a whole ritual, couldn't do a whole thing, but, you know, marked the occasion and, you know, felt the vibes of the universe at that time. Those kind of things are what make a witch a witch. Not just the rituals, but the sacred times, doing something at the sacred times, opening yourself up to the sacred times, the full moon, the new moon, all of these things. These connect us with the cycles of the moon, connect us with the cycles of nature, and those are the things that make a witch a witch. She changes everything she touches, but she changes you first. She changes you to operate more like her, and when you operate more like her, the more you're able to get done. As my witchcraft life has gone on, and as my age has gone on, winter and the urge to hibernate have become really prominent. I need a lot more naps in the winter than I need in the other times of the year.
We're in Grass Valley.
Oh God, yeah. Well, Grass Valley was like, that was the first like real winter
And
I
like
ever
our
had.
cat, our cat naps a lot as it is, but
Yeah.
he never got out of bed in Grass Valley except to shit and eat.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And
He
that's
never went out in the yard there, huh?
I don't
What
think so.
about when we moved here?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, there was too many predators. I
Yeah,
guess,
no, we had to lie. It was no pets.
Oh yeah. At any rate, what's it going with that? But yeah, so that was that was actual nature. Those are the cycles of the planet. The lunar cycles are the cycles that affect the planet. The solar cycles are the cycles that affect the planet. Those are the cycles that we're in. And the more we mark these occasions and experience these rituals and things to unite us with these occasions, those are some of the things that make a witch a witch. Having done that, a certain amount of time, it's like I cannot explain that. That's something that you've got to experience. The more you work with these forces, the more these forces change you to operate like them. And the more you operate like them, the more effective you are at affecting them. Let's see. I'm just checking the chat room really quick. All right. You got anything else?
Our boy is so funny.
Yes.
He came up here saying, "I'm bored," and I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, it's like phone, tablet, phone, tablet, phone, tablet. Wait, no, phone, tablet. I'm bored." And I said, "Okay, what do you want to do?" And he goes, "Can I have your phone?"
I know
That's what I've been dealing with. But I'm almost dead, so I told him to get my charger, and he's like asking me exactly where it is.
Oh God. Well, we're almost done anyway. So I'm sure he would ask for the Xbox, but the batteries are dead.
That's
in the
what
controller
I said.
right
Why
now.
don't you go play the Xbox? He was like, "The battery."
Man, we're gonna have to deal with pressing Beltane Eve issues. The lack of batteries and things in our household.
Batteries could be important for Beltane.
You gotta charge this shit up. It's fire. It's the modern equivalent of fire, man. Charge up your batteries, y'all. Okay, let's see. There's like 9 minutes left, man. You got anything else to say? Or should we play stuff?
Play stuff.
We're gonna play stuff.
And then we're gonna go. Bye.
We're gonna play stuff, then we're gonna go. Happy Beltane. And this one's always good. The Damned.
his therapy. Who needs this filthy room at night? Who says give up without a fight? Who gets their answers out of books? Dirty men with their dirty looks.
What you need in the room at night?
Therapy.
That's right. Who's getting when you kill that night?
Therapy.
That's right. What you want when all that's wrong?
Therapy.
That's right. Who needs therapy all night long?
I take you. I dream of pavements and pavements cold and gray. Cheerful and laughter on a lovely day. I dream of pavements they won't go away. I dream of pavements.
Right in front of me. Color of her eyes were the color of insanity. Crushed beneath her wave like a ship I could not reach the shore. We're all just dancers on the devil's dance floor. Well, swing a little more, and then there we go. Swing a little more next to me. Swing a little more, and then there we go. Swing a little more on the devil's dance floor. Pressed against her face, I could feel her insecurity. Mother had been a drunk and her father was obscurity. Nothing ever came from a life that was a simple one. Pull yourself together, girl, and have a little fun. When she took me by the hand, I could see she was a furry one. Her legs ran all the way up to heaven and past Avalon. Tell me something, girl, what it is you have in store. She said, come with me now.